Aloha, dear viewers! I'm here with Desert Sorcerer's Salad for more I Played a Thing, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're dressed for the heat today because we're going to be heading back to the Iron Keep, which as you briefly saw last episode is kinda sunken in lava. Speaking of last episode, yeah, I really kind of screwed the pooch there in spectacular fashion, which is not without precedent, but much more surprisingly, so did Jester Thomas. Again, I've never seen him lose that fight before, and usually it's not even close. He just flash fries Mytha like it ain't no thing. Man, between Tarkus and Thomas, the legendary NPCs are really making me feel foolish for hyping them up. Oh well, I guess recording luck does apply to NPCs as well. Oh, and I don't have the classy opera gloves that go with this outfit. I never got the drop for those, but I just put on the imported manchettes from the beginning of the game, which give roughly the same effect. Anywho, we are just about ready to head on to Iron Keep, because at least we did finish up with Earthen Peak and get past Myth of the Baneful Queen last episode, for all its many failures. But first, I am just going to take a moment to cover some things that I did pick up last episode and didn't get a chance to go over, or just forgot to. First is the washing pole, which we found in the poison pit. As you can see from its stat requirements and scaling, it is primarily a dex weapon. In fact, we don't have the dex to use it properly. But I can at least equip it and give you a look at it. It is a carryover from the first game, and just like the first game, it is very long. In this case, it is the first katana-type weapon we've found. And it is a pretty legit weapon. Good reach, obviously, although the durability is not good. It breaks pretty easily in a game where weapons break easily in general. But it certainly has its fan base for PvP, and if you want to do some Sephiroth cosplay or pretend you're Kojiro Sasaki, then here's your opportunity. And the other thing is Chameleon, which I don't think we've looked at before. Please excuse me if we have. And Chameleon was also in Dark Souls 1 as a sorcery of Ol Ulusil. It is a sorcery that dates farther back than recollection, allows you to blend into your surroundings. Those who fear the unseen are cowards. Those who never doubt their eyes are fools. Well, it's not farther back than our recollection. We were right there for Ulusil. Changed its history a little bit while we were at it. But anyway, same effect as the item that has the same effect that I know we did look at before. It just changes you into an inanimate object that fits the area that you're in. And that, I suppose, is that. I do still have most of my souls from the fight with Mytha and the run-up to her. And I may regret this, but I am not going to spend them before we head back out this time. Reason being, not too far into Iron Keep we will find a new merchant, and I want to save up a little bit for some of his wares. Now, toward the beginning of Iron Keep, we will have two Scholar-exclusive Red Phantom Invaders, but hopefully I will be able to manage avoiding death at their hands this time, and if I don't, well, hopefully I'll at least be able to pick my soul pile back up. Now then, first thing we see here right by the bonfire is a bit of superheated flaming ground, and we don't want to walk on that. There is a treasure over there, and if we built up our fire defense as much as possible, with rings and flash sweat perhaps, and we can also get ourselves wet with jars of water in the area, then we could survive grabbing that with sufficient protection against fire. However, this particular item is not worth it. If memory serves me right, it is just some kind of basic consumable, I think probably a human effigy, and while those are certainly nice to have a good stock of, I just really can't be arsed with screwing around with my fire defense so much right this second. I should also note that Iron Keep is a major PvP hotbed. In fact, the bridge right here at the beginning of the level is probably the biggest PvP hotspot in the game. So if you see some red summon signs or things like that, that would be why. Oh, and here comes our first new friend here. This is our most basic common enemy type for the level, the Alone Night. One night alone. Oh, is that what this has come to? I'm referencing Vixen lyrics now. Is that how far we've fallen? The answer is yes. But they are not named after loneliness, they are named after the person who trained them. And we'll be learning more about that individual soon. I should definitely be using the hammer here. We'll take these guys down much faster. But yes, we'll be seeing a lot of the Alone Knights. As you notice, they have katanas, and they are quick on the draw. But they're not too hard to beat down, and they're certainly easier to intercept than the mannequins, and less likely to combo you to death. So generally speaking, I have less difficulty with this area than I often do with Earthen Peak. Now up here we're going to have our two invaders, and if you're not careful, you can pretty easily trigger them both at the same time. These are new to Scholar. But I think if I head to the left and kind of go down into a little hole there, I'll manage to tease out just the first of them. Here goes nothing. Oh, that was not the one I was expecting. Okay. Well, it does seem like it's just one of them for now. And here is Fencer Sharon, who actually has some DLC exclusive items. That headpiece prevents her from being silenced, not that we have any magic to silence her with. And the weapon she is using, I think, is called the Puzzling Stone Sword. And it's basically Ivy's weapon from the Soul Calibur series. It's a sword that can kind of detach into segments and become a whip as well. And Sharon looks like she can take a beating. Got a couple good hits on her there, and it didn't do much. I'll just do like I do, and tank and retaliate here. She doesn't look too inclined to give up her back, and she recovers from her attacks fairly quickly. I'm not sure what that is in her other hand. Don't quite recognize it by profile. Oh! Managed to avoid the guard break, but she punished me anyway. Come on. Ah, she keeps doing that. Gotta be careful. This is how we punish. Stamina. Need my stamina. Alright, Sharon. A little bit closer now. I should probably look for a healing opportunity here, but I just don't think she's gonna give me one. And we've almost got this decided, and there it goes. Right here we see our first red summon sign. That's so you can voluntarily bring an invader into your game for a little dueling action. Those are very common on this bridge. And we don't actually have the red soapstone that allows us to put those down, not that I would likely do it anyway. That's something you can get from the Dwarvenly gentleman in the Undead Purgatory. If you bring him a token of spite, he'll sell that to you. Now, how do we get the other guy to come out? Is it down the other hole? Interesting, he doesn't seem to want to show up. Oh, no, never mind, there he is. Armorer Dennis. He's primarily a spellcaster, so I'm not sure why they call him Armor, unless he's just a blacksmith as a hobby. But yeah, the weapon he's using is called the Blue Flame, which is a sword that you can use as a catalyst. A sword that can cast spells. Yep, went for my own guard break there, but it didn't work out. And the spell that he was attacking me with, where he just swung it around himself, yeah, that one. That is the Soul Greatsword, I believe is its name, and it works just like you see. It's pretty fast for a sorcery, so it's pretty effective at close range. And Dennis can certainly trade his licks in melee range, but really the major danger of him is his spells. Well, didn't get the guard break on him, but it still staggered him, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, I want to get away when he does that, because that'll definitely put a hurting on me. Yikes! Like I said, the main threat here is his spells. But we've almost got him down. Whoa! Easy there, chap. And that will suffice. I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to run right on back to the bonfire and get some of my Estus back, because that took a little bit of a toll on my supply. And it would take even more of one when I healed up from my current injuries. So back we go this way. Alright, fighting fit. We'll have to take down the Alone Knight again, but that won't be too big of a deal. One night alone, just you and me. Yeah, the hammer definitely does a much better number on these guys. Not least because of the strike damage against a well-armored foe, but also because, well, I've upgraded it. Hopefully very soon I will find something to replace the, bastard sword that I'll be more willing to drop some Titanite into, but hasn't happened yet. I believe there will be another gentleman soon to arrive now that we've stepped inside. There he is. Because they strike and recover fairly quickly, getting a backstab off on these fellows can be tricky unless you're more of an adept roll dodger than I. Oh, hello, his friend showed up. Well, I still think we can take him. I do not believe these folks can heal, so that's one thing we've got going for us. Yep, one-on-one, these folks are no big deal at all. You can get bleed buildup on you from their katanas, as you can see, but not a big deal. But just like practically any enemy in sufficient quantities, and at this stage of our character development, 2 of them in sufficient quantities, they can be a threat. I thought I saw a guy move up there. That one's got a great bow, so we'll want to entice him down to us. Oh, he doesn't want to play. Alright, well we can do a sniper duel, I'm fine with that. Ow. Well, that was one hell of a clumsy sniper duel, but I guess any that you can walk away from. Now here we have an item concealed beneath a big old spout of flame. With careful timing, it is possible to pick that up without getting zorched at this point. In all likelihood, though, we would probably die. We'd get the item, but die in the process. So I am going to leave it alone for the time being and show you how to do it properly. Eventually we'll find a switch that will allow us to turn off the flamethrower there and pick it up in total safety. Moving right along. We're almost to the merchant, but I think there's someone down this... No, actually I think that was the guy with the bow, so we don't have to worry about him, as he is already slain. Quite a hellish view, isn't it? Big old Minotaur statue in the background, and that little building over there with the barely visible fog gate, that is actually going to be the boss door. That is where our final fight of the area will be, but naturally it's going to be a while before we can make our way over there. In the more immediate, we got a new buddy.
What? Who are you? Who, me? I'm Magarold. Who else? What? Have a look at my wares.
So, Magarold of Lanifear. There's an odd little bit of fan speculation that suggests this guy is Jester Thomas, because he sells the Jester's set, and he's kind of a happy-go-lucky chap, and he describes himself as an adventurer. But other than the Jester set being in his inventory, there's really no solid evidence for that. I don't think there's really anything for it. Just a fun little bit of fan speculation that's fairly widespread if you're into that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and look at his stuff first of all. As mentioned, he has the Jester set, and the Jester's pieces of armor each have a unique property, which can be kinda neat, but of course the downside is they make you look like a total tool. The Jester's hat. A boldly colored Jester's cap, a nice bit of fun to try on. Jesters are more than festival fixtures. Some have a second face, hidden from public view. I suppose that could also be taken as more evidence that Magarold and Thomas are one and the same, but again, it's not really hard evidence, and a bit tenuous even as speculation. But that, just like the merchant headpiece or the one we're currently wearing, increases your item discovery. The Jester's robes nullify critical hits. That means that you cannot be backstabbed while you're wearing these, which is a pretty nice effect if you don't mind the goofy Elizabethan collar. The gloves, they work like a covetous silver serpent ring, just give you more souls for every kill you make. And the tights reduce falling damage, but again, the drawback is you have to wear silly poofy pantaloons. Now the bandit stuff, that's a little more straightforward. Not brilliant armor, but it's a thing. And I don't think it's terribly heavy, so maybe we'll pick that up. It's fairly cheap. The helm is the helmet of bandits of the Ferosan outskirts. The territory of Ferosa became lawless after the kingdom fell to war. Citizens became bandits and scattered to other lands. Well, once again, we're hearing about that territory of Ferosa. That's a kingdom that's going to pop up again, especially in some of the DLC. Yeah, same flavor text for all of it. We'll go ahead and pick it up. Again, it's not very expensive, and it may have Fashion Souls applications in the future. Ring-wise, he just has the Curse Bite ring, which is more expensive than it's worth, I would say. One of several bite rings known for their peculiar design, increases curse resistance. The similar, oddly disturbing design of these rings suggests a common source. Whoever the master craftsman was, he certainly knew his trade. And we got a little more of the story of those in Dark Souls 1. Put briefly, it was the work of a very creepy dude. The Earl of Karim, if I recall correctly. Now here we have some fun stuff in his consumable items directory. Human effigy, might as well. Repair powder, might as well. He's got a fragrant branch of yore, and we definitely want all of those we can get our hands on. And he's got the carvings from the DLC of Dark Souls 1. Faces carved from the wood of aged trees. They speak when thrown upon the ground. The fine craftsmanship of these faces is evident even after much aging, but no one knows even the name of the artist. Well, we know the name, Hawkeye Goff. Nice guy. Hell of an elbow drop. And these are certainly a bit expensive for what utility they have, but hey, we gotta have them, right? And he even has a few spells. Mostly varying flavors of Soul Arrow. A couple of hexes, but none of those are of special value to us. Well then, now that we've cleaned out most of our pocketbook and much of his inventory, let's go ahead and have a chat.
I think we have similar taste. Really? I do. Here, you should like these.
Oh, and we've already got his valuable customer gift for just spending a bunch with him. That's nice, I guess.
I'm mainly a treasure hunter, you see. Mainly a merchant on the side. Around about, looking for a find, following me instincts. I don't care what a thing's worth. What matters is whether it grabs me. Do I enjoy what I do? Well, that's a good question. I suppose I must. I've been doing it for ages.
Sounds like even Magarold might be suffering from a bit of the old memory loss. That's a story we see everywhere we go. And it's just more motivation to find a way out of this curse.
There's good iron in these parts. An old king even used it to build a castle. But the thing was too heavy. It slowly sank into the ground. Fire spouted from the earth, and the place turned into this. At least, that's what I've been told. Not a bad story, eh? So, what'll it be? Anything for you today?
So, a king with lots and lots of iron, some great natural resources, built his entire castle out of this stuff and built it so damn heavy it sank into the ground and caused the molten blood of the earth to bubble up and start to swallow up the castle. Well, there's a lesson for you, folks. Hubris is bad. Also, to be setting up shop in a place like this that's kind of sinking into the bowels of the earth, Magarold is a pretty brave dude.
Hey, you know that old fella with the hulking blue sword? He talks really highly of it, but I got a feeling it's a fake. I didn't want to disappoint him, so I just sort of talked around it. Let me just say, there are lots of legendary swords out there.
Well, that, of course, would be referring to our good pal Benart. Well, I won't tell him about the sword if you won't.
Have you heard of the shrine on the eastern edge of Drangleek? Built to honor the dragons, they say. If only I knew how to get there. I'd go and I'd comb it for goodies.
We will actually have a chance to bring back Magarold something from that shrine when we have a chance to visit it ourselves, which will be a long way off. But he will be most appreciative if we do that. So just something to keep in mind.
I'm mainly a treasure. I suppose I'm not.
Alright, that looks like all of his dialogue. However, there is one more function of Magarold's that we can access in the moment, and that is, he's the guy who can burn incense for us. Use the simpletons and skeptic spices to bring down the stat requirements for spells. Now let's see, how much of that do we have? We will definitely want to have access to cast light, and its 14 requirement is a little bit high for our 10 intelligence, so let's see. And I have 4 simpleton spice right now, which is going to be just enough. Let's do it. Perfect. So we will not need it in this area, which is certainly very well lit outside and generally pretty well lit inside, but we're definitely going to want to be able to use that in some future places, so it'll be good to have. Let's see, anything else we want to pick up while we're in the neighborhood? Well, we won't need it here, but it's good to have 1 fire resin in the inventory, so I'll just pick that up while we're doing our little window shopping.
Cheers.
And cheers to you, good Magarold. Now, one more thing I wanted to point out, since I forgot about it on the way in. If we jump down from here, there is a series of islands of that flaming rock stuff. And if you can survive long enough to make the hops across and manage to not fall into the lava, then the item over there is a bonfire ascetic, which if you're going to do lots of farming or want to really pump up your new game value for a particular area, I suppose is nice to have, but for my money, also totally not worth it. I do have to say, though, that the lava, for my money at least, looks a hell of a lot better in this game than it did in Dark Souls 1. Kind of nice textures and animation, and not all that ridiculous bloom. Alright, moving along. Actually, is there any jars out here? No, no jars out here. Well, I'll have a chance to show you those soon enough. There are water jars in the area that you can roll through or smash to get yourself soaked in water, and those will increase your fire defense by a lot. I think it's actually one of the biggest hikes to your fire defense you can possibly get. Yeah, actually, here are the jars. I'll just go ahead and smoosh one. And it's more visible with some clothing than others. You can not really see it so well on the Desert Sorceress outfit, but our clothing's a little darker. We have kind of a wet sheen to us, so as long as that's in effect, we will have greatly upgraded fire defense. Still not good enough to take something like that to the face, but it would definitely help, along with some additional buffs if we wanted to go pick up some of those items on the hot rocks, but I just don't care about those. I care about this, however, an illusory wall. Fire arrows, not something I usually have a lot of use for, but as always, free stuff. I'll never turn up my nose at it. And we've got another illusory wall here, as you might expect from the ballista pointing at absolutely nothing. Oh, is this ever tempting? And I am nothing if not a slave to temptation. Pow! Well, it didn't quite get the job done, but it was certainly satisfying, and amazingly enough, it doesn't seem to have completely got his attention. Didn't even turn around to see where it came from. Alright, well, that just means we can drop in and do one of these. Man, his friend didn't even come to check it out. It's a rough place here in the Iron Keep. And this just goes, yes, back to the foyer. Alright, well, when we step out into this outside area, we're just going to have a bunch of fighting to do without any particular notable bits. So, just something I want to address while we're just kind of hanging and banging. And that is, in my messages recently, I had someone make a little grumble about the Souls videos that I do. And that's fine. I'm really not sore about it. Not everyone's gonna like everything, and you're all welcome to your tastes and preferences. Hell, I count myself lucky if I can please any of the people any of the time. But that prompted me to have a look at my stats, and I have noticed that my Souls videos have a relatively small number of fans. There are certainly people that enjoy them a great deal, but even going back to the Dark Souls 1 videos, they have some of my lowest view counts. So there are folks definitely who really prefer me doing the more obscure stuff in the retro games. And that's entirely cool. But I do want you to know that I am paying attention. You know, I'm not in this for the views, of course. If that were my primary motivation, I would just be doing scare cam videos over Five Nights at Freddy's or something to that effect. But, and nothing against those folks either. You know, whatever success you can find, if it's making you happy, then more power to you. But, wow, they just keep coming. Anywho, that is totally not my style, and at the end of the day, I gotta do me. Granted, there are lots of people doing videos on the Souls series out there, and most of them are better than I am. Certainly I do not have the skill and connections of Epic Namebro or a German spy, and don't have the insight and the polish of Vadi, any stuff like that. But, these games are special to me, and at the end of the day, that is my #1 biggest motivator. And there are folks that have really been wanting to see me do this one, after doing Dark Souls 1, even if they are a minority. But, yeah, it's not that I don't care about what viewers want to see. Absolutely not. That is a point of consideration for me, and I don't want you to think you're being ignored. Just, you know, I gotta do me. And I do apologize for those of you who do not find this appealing at all. I hope you'll stick around for whatever I do next. And what we've got up there, you may be able to tell that he's a... Whoa, that went badly. You may be able to tell that the gentleman up there has a different set of pauldrons, a different helmet, and he's a good deal taller. Oh, I didn't. Welp. Now let me make a cut here so you don't have to watch me fighting my way back through all of the one night alone, just you and me. Alright then, let's try this again without all the completely needless falling to our deaths. Also, we've got a drop here, so let's see what that might be. And it is the Alone Night leggings. So let's have a quick peek at those. Leggings worn by Alone Knights. The bonds of the Alone Knights, who served the old Iron King, were mightier than the land's iron, but in the end the knights were subsumed by the flames that brought the castle down. Well, they do seem to be alive and kicking to me, but I will make this observation. The sound that the Alone Knights make when you kill them is the same sound that was made by the Silver Knights in Dark Souls 1. Don't know if there's any significance to that, but there it is. Anywho, as I was trying to say about this guy up here before I walked right off into the molten blood of the earth, you can see he's got a little bit of a different helmet there, and he's got some pauldrons that Samus Aran would be proud of. And he's a little extra tall. Well, all the tall guys in this kingdom, they put into the leadership ranks. This is an Alone Captain. And they've got their own set of armor. Actually, I think the leggings are the same, but they do have their own chest piece and what have you. Their own helmet. And they have electric katanas. But this one doesn't seem to be into the whole katana thing. He'd rather take Pachas at us with a great bow, and I am more than happy to return the favor with my regular bow. We are getting some pretty nice soul pickups from these guys. One observation I'd like to make here is this door. Yeah, this ain't good at all. You will notice it is smoking, and you occasionally see blasts of flame come from it. Needless to say, if we open that, our lettuce is going to be extra crispy. So I'm not going to do that right now. This lever, I believe, will lower a bridge, which we will want. I think specifically it lowers one end of a bridge. Yeah, there we go, and the other end is still up in the air. Let's go ahead and get this knight off the bridge while we have a chance. I'm gonna try rolling past and going for the backstab, just for shits and giggles. Come on, try your thrust, very good. Well, didn't get the backstab, but the idea was there. See, I don't have to tank everything. I can occasionally get a proper dodge roll off if I really want to. Anywho, we're gonna have some treasure over here. And I hope I didn't go on too long or sound too defensive with the whole, you know, folks who don't really care for the Souls videos thing. I just want you to know you're being heard and that I am grateful for the folks who are enjoying the trip. Well, repair powder's always good, and hey, extra souls are always good too. Now that we've dropped down to the bottom, we can climb up to the top. Hey, you know what? I just realized my Covenant symbol is not flashing, and I really would expect it should be in this area, so like a sucker, I think I have forgotten to put on my ring. Yep, sure did. Oh well. Better Nate than Lever. Oh, we got a few of his great arrows, nothing too exciting, but whatever. However, in the chest here, we get a Twinkie, and we get an upgrade on the life ring. Not too bad. I think that's about all there is here. One observation I will make about the environment once again is that these chimneys here, we can pop those open. Well, I guess you need a better arrow for that. Well, at closer range we could definitely pop these open. Well, you know what? I feel foolish now, so I'm gonna pop the captain open. And he just doesn't know what to do about it. I don't think the person that we're about to invade will have any such problems, but we'll see how it goes. And back to Belfry Sol again, which is very near to this place, so hey! No shooting at me while I'm trying to give you a nice wave. Yeah, you go ahead and throw hexes all you want. Oh, this guy's clumsy, just like me. This might actually be a fair fight. God, this range is so bad. Didn't really think that poison was going to work out, but it was worth a try. Oh, and I really failed my dodge timing there. Well, we were both kind of clumsy there, but it was a fair fight. Yes, I really am this bad at PvP. Oh well. Back to working out my frustrations with arrows. Drangleick's #1 stress reliever. Yes, I will definitely be happy when I have a weapon that I can put some upgrades into that has a little better range than the hammer. Because it is serving me really well for close-in fighting, but when I want to hit someone without being, like, skull-deep in their armpit, then it lacks a certain something. Now then, should I go here now? Yeah, maybe. Wow, there goes another one. Well, we could belay that decision for the moment. Ah, crap. They've got the drifter. I don't like dealing with the drifter. I'm bad enough fighting one-on-one. Piss off, idol. This is not your fight. Ah. If we get too many of these PvP sessions, I will take off the ring. Just would like to pick up a few chunks before I give up the hunt. Alright, so what I think I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna grab this item on the pillar here because that's easier to do while this end of the bridge is still up. Run. Very good. Just a consumable and some trochees, but No harm in that. And then I believe if I can keep it nice and tight with my button presses, I can make it over to the platform there. And then we'll be in good shape. Very nice. So let's go ahead and turn this wheel here. And that will shut off the furnace there so we could go through that backdraft door without getting ourselves frizzled. Because I'm not Mrs. Frizzle. I don't even have a magic school bus. Or was it Miss Frizzle? Sorry, I don't reliably recall. That show was a little bit after my time. And down here we have another treasure chest with some dangerous territory around it. And that would give me the Phoenix Shield, which is a small shield with lousy stability and lousy physical protection, but it has really high fire defense. And those are fairly hard to come by in this game. Especially, sadly, the Black Knight Shield has not returned from Dark Souls 1. Can't get that anymore, and I do miss it. But I don't especially need the Phoenix Shield with any urgency, so I'm not going to worry about that again. Jarek. So is Hawkins here as an ally for me? That would be neat. And they have summoned Drifter Swordsman Idol again, which does not thrill me, but... yeah, Hawkins is on our side now. Hello to you. Yeah, how about I just keep Idle busy over here? That seems to be a good use of my time. Oh, and we're gonna make it 2-on-2. Nice. Piss off, Idle. No, you know what? Follow me all you want. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my best purpose here, is just tanking for the party while Black Mage does the damage. He seems to know what he's doing. And it doesn't matter who gets the kill. As long as you win, everyone gets the chunks. Alright, that's 3 invasions. I've got my chunk. I'm happy for now. I'll put on the protection ring just to keep ourselves a little safer. And we'll finish shooting down the captain here. Man, the delay on that great bow shot kind of messes with my timing a little bit when it comes to running into cover. Well, we've almost brought an end to this whole sordid affair, and there we go. Alright, best way to proceed from here. Okay, that's just down to the Phoenix Shield. Alright, I think we basically have to go this way. And over here we can lower the other end of the bridge, which we no longer have any good reason not to do. Having that one end of the bridge up really helps for getting the treasure up there, but after that it's perfectly legitimate to drop both sides of the bridge and just carry on with your life. And now that we've turned off the furnace, we can see what's in it. I believe in New Game Plus and beyond, there are actually going to be some Red Phantom Alone Captains in here. But in the immediate, we get some Large Titanite and Petrified Dragon Bone. And those are always good for free stuff. Some nice healing consumables. Now, if I explode one of these at point-blank range, I might, Yeah, I think I'm not gonna do that. I want to make sure I survive for the immediate, especially with the quantity of souls I'm carrying. Now, that door there would be progress, but if we take this route to progress, we'll be skipping a boss fight. And that is just not how we roll in this LP. So we are gonna do this the hard way. Because the hard way is also the proper completion way, and the fun way. So the upcoming boss fight is a little bit of a rough one, but it's also a pretty enjoyable one. Those often go hand in hand. In Souls games, just like Artorias was in the first one, well, in Dark Souls 2, a lot of the hardest bosses are still some of the most enjoyable ones to fight. And I don't want to put myself in the sights of that great bow, so even if I take a shot to the back, I'm going to bring these guys across the bridge and fight them a little farther away from Sniper Town. Hey, don't go stabbing me through your buddy. That's just rude. It's rude to everyone involved. And we don't accept behavior like that. Whoa, did he shoot from all the way... Oh, hey, there's... Hey! You're not supposed to move from your post. So let's get all up in his shit and we'll have a nice duel with that electric katana. Well, so much for the duel. But at least you did see that because the alone captains are so tall, they get the big guy backstab animation. I think there might be something else over there for us to loot. This is probably a good spot to get summoned, so I'm going to drop a sign, and we'll see if someone calls me in so I can get my humanity back without having to pop an effigy. I thought there might be something of value over here, but that does not appear to be the case. Oh, there is that one bit of treasure over there. Yeah, I will want to take a crack at that. It could get me killed, because it is kind of a dangerous jump, but we'll give it a try. By the way, that treasure on the broken stairs there that I am about to try for, that is where the dull ember used to be in the vanilla version of the game. So you did have to get this far if you wanted to get access to Macduff's services. Moving that into an earlier part of the game in the Lost Bastille, I think, was a fairly nice decision. There we go. And just like before, I did the plunging attack there to keep myself from rolling, just in case the roll would have carried me into the lava. Now that this isn't the dull ember anymore, I forget what it actually is. Oh, some more petrified dragon bone. Well, we can never have too much of that. And right here, this is just like the Pharaoh's contraption in Earthen Peak without the poison factor. No windmill to burn. Activating this will always just fill this depression with healing water, so you can have a nice soak in the hot tub and wash all your pain away. And what, pray tell, have we here? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Now this makes the trip worth it. I forgot that was here, and now I'm really glad I tried this jump. The Zweihander is basically the Greatsword Junior. It has almost exactly the same moveset as the Greatsword, and naturally it's not as powerful, but it has lower requirements, and more importantly for our needs, it is a good deal lighter. So I think we should actually be able to wield that at this point, and even if we can't do it naturally, we should be able to do so with the assistance of the Royal Soldier's Ring. So we'll take a look at that, see how it affects our weight limit. And by the way, it is a straight sword with a very long blade, one of few ultra-great swords. As the name suggests, the Zweihander is held with two hands, but its weight is such that even wielding it in this manner requires strength worthy of the blade. Well, fuck that, we're gonna rock it one-handed. Right now it is not as good as our hammer, and I think strike damage is good against the upcoming boss anyway, so we don't really need to worry about that. The boss up ahead is an optional one. You saw we do have an alternate path that bypasses the boss area. And it is one that gives a lot of people trouble. I know my first run through the game I died to the thing like maybe a dozen times. But nowadays I can usually handle it pretty readily. And having said that, I hesitated there because I realized I just gave myself the kiss of death, but who knows. Having a friend is good here. Yes, it is a boss arena. Yes, a lot of people struggle with it. Hopefully I will not. Yeah, this thing is a real brick wall for a lot of players who have not had a good amount of practice with it. Fortunately, I have fought the thing many times, so I should be alright. Doesn't look like I'm getting any summons here, though. I'll just do one lap to the end of the track here, and then turn around and come back, and if no one has summoned me yet, then I will just pop an effigy and go for it. Okay, enough of that. We cancel. We effigize. And we prep a little bit. Let's see here. Ring of Steel Protection is good to have. Oh, I didn't buy the Fire Defense Ring. That was dead foolish of me. Meant to buy the Fire Defense Ring before I came this way, but I am a forgetful Jones. Well, we will just put on the Ring of Life Protection so we don't lose all of our souls and our humanity if we die. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I guess if we can't boost our fire protection, this is about as good a loadout as we're gonna get. Do want that Chloranthy ring, do want the extra souls if we can. And we do want a buddy, and fortunately, one of our very favorite buddies is right here for the summoning. And for Lucatiel's quest line, we do need to bring her to boss fights. So if we can get her to survive this one, this will be the last one we need. Anything else will be gravy. Luca! How she just sidles away from my hug. Typical. Alright then. We'll stick with this stuff. Yeah, I think this is as good as we're gonna get. Let's roll on in and do this thing. Here's the man, the Smelter Demon. For now, all we really need to worry about is the fact that he's got a great big sword, and when he jams that sword into the ground, you actually don't want to stick around near him. It's a good opportunity to get hits in, but as you can see, he does an AoE blast much of the time afterward. And oh yeah, we're doing great damage to him with the hammer. Definitely weak to strikes. Well, what he's going to do now is power up his flame, and now he has the rather annoying effect of a damage aura. Just standing close to him will get you burned a little bit. Well, we can deal with it. We're tough that way. Oh, not just the AoE, he actually caught me with the sword drop. Guess it has a little phantom range because I wasn't standing that close. And now he's gonna commit seppuku and power up his sword with flames. This is by far the most dangerous stage of the fight, because he does fire damage in addition to his physicals now, and his moveset changes a little bit. This guy is susceptible to poison, so I'm going to see if I can inflict it on him. We'll have Luca tank for me a little bit while I take care of that. Now, it looks like I just couldn't get enough poison buildup on him. Well, we'll get in here and just do some melee damage and try and keep Lucatiel alive. Oh, he didn't do his AoE. That's somewhat unusual, actually. Oh, now I've got his attention. Oh, shit. There we go again. Oh, crap! Welp. That is one thing worthy of note about the Smelter Demon here, is that with each stage of his power-up, like when he stokes his flame, and when he powers up his sword with his inner fire, his AoE blast gets bigger. So it would have served me well to haul my ass away from that a little bit quicker, but, well, hindsight is 20/20. And we will have to spend some of our souls on getting our ring repaired. Again, in the original release of the game, this only cost, I believe, 3,000 or 4,000, and they added an extra 10 grand to it, so now it's not quite as OP as it used to be. And we will eventually replace it with the Greatsword, but for now, I think it's a reasonable Titanite investment to pump up this Zweihander for a while. Yeah, we got enough large Titanite to spend some of it. Yeah, we'll take that up to 6. Stop before we start spending any of our chunks.
I'll be around if you make it back.
Oh, I'll be back, ye of little faith. And while I'm stuck in Majula for the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up that fire defense ring. That would be a very, very good idea.
Hello again.
I've been just dandy, Rosabeth. Any fire seeds? No fire seeds. But you have a lovely flame quartz ring.
I'm always here.
Yeah, I'll see you later. We should take off that ring of life protection, because we don't have enough to repair it right now. Put on the flame quartz ring. And you know, just to be double extra super safe... Oh, I never bought it. Alright, that's another thing we can do with a bit of our extra spending money while we're here. Pick up Flash Sweat.
Hello again.
And that is a pyromancy that internalizes the power of flame. Oh, wait, I'm looking at Iron Flesh. Wrong spell. Good job, me. Flash Sweat is a pyromancy that internalizes the power of flame. Sweat profusely, reducing fire damage. Most useful when facing other flame-manipulating pyromancers. Just don't take the looks you get personally. Oh, we got some Lady Speed Stick, we'll be just fine.
I'm always here.
And Flash Sweat doesn't last terribly long, but it gives you a very respectable bonus to your fire defense. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take that along, and I'm positive I've been able to poison the Smelter Demon before, but that didn't seem to be working out, so I'm going to take Magic Weapon instead, just so we can get a little extra oomph on our hammer damage. Because I think with the strike damage, the hammer's still going to serve us a little better than the Zweihander. Yeah, so we'll just break out the catalyst there and stand ready to do some spell slinging. You know what? Also, improving your catalyst does improve your casting, so I'll do that while I'm here in the neighborhood. Pardon all the prep work, folks. This is, even with a good deal of practice, a potentially very lethal boss fight, as you just saw. Yeah, sure, why not? What's large Titanite if not for spending? Yep, good enough for now.
I'll be around.
Alright, folks, back to the Iron Keep I go. And we'll cut out the return trip, and I will see you as soon as I get back to the boss door. Okay, I have cleared myself a reasonable path here, and as you can see, once the bridge is fully lowered, it serves as something of a shortcut to get you back to the Smelter Demon a lot easier. I don't know what he's shooting at, but we'll let him pull out his Hanzo steel so we can have a little fight with the electric samurai here. Oh, nice dodge. These guys generally are a lot easier to backstab than the subordinates, though. And you get to give them a nice boot in the ass, so that's fun, too. Alright. We'll make sure we're life gemmed up. We'll make sure we're Lucatiel'd up. And then we will prepare our buffs. Alright, we'll get sweaty. We'll get magical. We'll get magical on the wrong weapon, but that's okay. There we go. Alright, Mr. Smelter Demon. This time it will be different. By the way, it is generally a very... Damn it. It's generally a very good thing to have some dodging acumen against this guy, especially after he powers up his sword. But we do have a great shield with good stability and actually pretty good fire defense, so it's not as important as it would be for most characters. And you might as well just stand back when he's powering up, because that greatly increases his defense, and you can't actually hurt him very much while he's powering up. Ah. Gotta watch my dodge timing. His sword swings can be deceptively slow. Oh, time to reapply my buff. Actually, while Lucatiel keeps him occupado, I'm gonna make myself sweaty again. Lucatiel's in good shape, so I'm not worried about her dying too quickly before I can get back in the action. Oh shit. Get back, get back, get back. There we go. That went better than last time. What? I'm not even sure what happened there. But I can heal, and that's the important thing. Oh crap. Not good. That's right, you go pester Lucatiel for a while. I'm busy over here. What's more, I got buffs to reapply. Needless to say, this is a lot more difficult when you don't have an NPC summon giving you some cover, but it's still doable. I guess he's less likely to do that AoE if you're not actually in range of it. Oh! And that's one new thing he can do when he's all powered up with the flaming sword. He can shoot a ground blast of flame from it. And Lucatiel's hurting, so we should probably try and finish this up relatively quickly. You can see some of that fire damage still gets through my shield, but... Oh, whoa! I guess the hitbox was wrong for me to block that one. Alright, it's definitely time to finish this. Well, that is definitely one of the uglier mud fights I've had with the Smelter Demon in recent memory, but... whatever. We came out with the win, and it wasn't quite as much of a dog's breakfast as the last episode was in general, so... You know what? I'll take it. Nothing behind the stairs, but yeah, it's worth it to check, right? Well, as a reward for defeating the Smelter Demon, we do get a couple of treasures that I don't believe we would have access to along the other path. Some flame butterflies and the porcine shield, which is terrible, but if you want to defend yourself with a pig's face, I guess you have the option. As you can see, the defense values are not good and the stability ain't so hot either, but it's there if you want it. The pig's head looks eerily authentic, but is an imitation. Though the shield's defensive capacity is ordinary, it may spook an unsuspecting foe. Well, less than ordinary, I'd say. It's really not a good shield in any way. Except for laughs. And laughs are worth something. Alright then. We also get access to a new bonfire. And because we are now rich in souls, I'm gonna roll right on back to Majula. We will take a look at the new boss soul. And then I think we will save the second half of Iron Keep for another day. So what do we got here? The soul of the Smelter Demon that haunts the castle that sunk into a pool of iron. The old Iron King's life was taken by a mass of iron that had been given a soul. Was this metal Goliath there from the beginning, or was it a product of the king's conceit? Well, that is one interesting revelation. It was the Smelter Demon that killed the old Iron King. That, rather hubristic gentleman who built the Iron Keep. Also, I think we get a little more lore if we trade in that soul to Strayed. Once again, it's one of the ones that only he will accept. I do love the big swords. They're so smashy. Smashy, smashy.
Souls, if you bigger.
Yeah. And here we can get the Smelter Sword. Look at that strength requirement. An ultra great sword forged from the soul of the Smelter Demon. Its blade bears the strength of terrible flames, a latent power unleashed by a strong attack. The earth spouted fire, and a beast arose from the flames. The short-sighted king was incinerated by the creature in one swing, and his castle devoured in a sea of flames. So, yep, the old Iron King completely got his shit wrecked by the Smelter Demon in a single strike, and with strikes like that, I guess I'm not terribly surprised. That also gives us a little more exposure to what happened to the castle. It wasn't just its weight that made it sink into the Sea of Flames, it was the fact that he awakened the Smelter Demon. Didn't work out for him. Gotta take those lessons from the mines of Moria, man. Don't dig too deep. Or build too heavy, or... I don't know. Perhaps there's no lesson here at all. Anyway, the Smelter Demon's sword is actually fairly nice. Its strength requirement is more than we can fulfill at the moment, but we'll take a look at it real quick, like. Certainly looks cool as shit. And even if we can't wield it one-handed, we can at least do a quick demo two-handed. Well, the one-handed moveset we can show at least, even if we can't properly use the weapon. Can't use that R2 correctly, but the R1s, at least you see, is pretty much the same as the Greatsword and the Zweihander, so I actually do like the moveset of this weapon. And we can't do it with the R2 because we're not strong enough using this one-handed, but if I two-handed it, we should be able to see the special attack of it. Blow! Yep, one-handed or one-handed if we could do it properly, and two-handed, the strong attack of the Smelter sword. You can Zorch people. Pretty cool. I may play around with that some when we have the strength to wield it correctly, which I guarantee we eventually will. But for the time being, I'm gonna stick with my German friend here. Alright then, that was definitely not one of the prettier fights I've had with the Smelter in recent memory, but we won, and that's the important thing. As always, folks, I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I've enjoyed having you along. And I do hope to see you next time when we continue our journey and finish up with the Iron Keep. Till then, take care. Today's episode has been brought to you by such generous supporters as Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Charlie Dunst, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Johnny Millennium, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Craig Patterson, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo DePuzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Darren Chow, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Argyle Jelly, Mechasaurus, and DG Jono. Thank you all very much, and thanks as well to all other supporters, and all commenters, subscribers, and watchers. Your continued support is very much appreciated, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.